Ocho, Nicki Minaj, and other artists have seemingly called out Jay Z, who's the co-producer of the Super Bowl halftime show.
And even though he wasn't named, but Jay-Z's decision to have Kendrick Lamar headline the Super Bowl halftime.
Nicki Minaj has declared war on Jay Z and Beyoncé, accusing them of sabotaging her career, stealing millions, and orchestrating a campaign to silence her voice forever. And this isn't some cryptic jab or vague lyric. This is scorched earth, naming, timeline confirming fury from a woman who says she's had enough. For years, Nicki played the industry's good soldier, towing the line even when it twisted against her. But now she's letting it all burn. From social media rants to pointed exposés, she's painting the Carters as cold manipulators, industry architects who allegedly built an empire not just on talent but on betrayal, control, and backdoor deals designed to erase competition. Her competition.
So I have a better understanding to what's going on. So I'm hearing people talk, but I don't know because I'm on the outside looking in and I got the feel it's like having a donut.
In Nicki's words, Jay-Z is no visionary mogul. He's a spiteful and evil kingpin, hoarding the levers of power while systematically freezing her out of spaces she helped shape. Her tone isn't the usual celebrity indignation. It's sharper, more urgent. She's accusing Jay-Z and his network of blackballing her from major opportunities, funneling TIDAL profits into private pockets, and, most explosively, using their influence to isolate and neutralize her voice. In her own tweet, she claims she didn't see one red penny from the TIDAL venture, despite promoting it more than anyone but Beyoncé. The allegation? That when the platform sold for over $300 million, Jay kept the pie for himself and offered her crumbs dusted in silence.
Been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
And if that wasn't enough, she's now hinting at something even darker, that speaking out against these power plays has put her in actual danger. Her cryptic warnings, unsettling tone shifts, and sudden bursts of paranoia all seem to suggest she's not just fighting for recognition, she's fighting for protection. Got everything in the world, still spiteful and evil, she wrote. Disgusting. It's a chilling line, especially when followed by comparisons to political puppeteers, social manipulators, and house puppet behavior. Is Nicki hinting at an industry-wide network of handlers and enforcers? Or has she seen something the rest of us haven't?
Like this can be reported. Also, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, but things like this can be reported as smoke and mirrors as well now.
And here's where things start twisting into the conspiratorial, the type of speculation that the music elite pretends not to believe while obsessively watching from burner accounts. Multiple whispers, including one from a former Roc Nation assistant who later scrubbed their socials, have pointed toward an Illuminati-style blacklist forming in the industry, one that Jay-Z is allegedly central to. The claim? That Nicki Minaj was deliberately excluded from key cultural moments as punishment for stepping out of line. Her repeated snubs from the Met Gala, her absence from the Grammy nominations despite chart success, and now the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show, all positioned as data points in a pattern of coordinated exclusion. Not coincidental. Calculated. Jay-Z, long rumored to be the gatekeeper of the list, has never publicly addressed these underground claims, but the signs have a funny way of stacking up. Consider this. In the same year Kendrick Lamar was tapped to headline the Super Bowl, Nicki and Lil Wayne, two of the most enduring hip-hop artists of their generation, were cast aside, not even considered for guest slots. Why? The whispers say it's not artistic merit, but internal politics. Jay's ego, his feud with Birdman, his icy war with Drake, and yes, a lingering disdain for Nicki that dates back to Roc Nation's rejection of her team during early management negotiations. One former A&R called it an old wound Jay never let heal.
But Nicki was tweeting a lot. One was denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego.
The exclusion of Lil Wayne in particular has become the spark that set Nicki's public outburst ablaze. The Super Bowl is headed to New Orleans, Wayne's city, Wayne's home turf, and yet he was passed over for a West Coast rapper in Kendrick. No disrespect to K-Dot. Even Nicki herself clarified her appreciation for his artistry, but the emotional math doesn't add up. Denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego, she wrote. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne? According to Nicki, this wasn't just a slight, it was a message, a power move, a slap from the top of the ladder reminding everyone who still holds the strings.
Now, if you know anything about Birdman, anytime he puts on Miss Gladys, he mean business.
And let's not pretend Wayne was silent. The man known for playing things cool admitted in a rare vulnerable moment that being passed over broke him, not disappointed him, broke him. There's a gravity to that word, like something inside snapped. Like he realized what Nicki's been screaming all along, that this industry rewards politics over passion, that legacy doesn't matter when your name is on the wrong list. But here's where things slide from revenge into profit. According to insiders, Jay-Z's Super Bowl choices aren't just about the music, they're about long-term brand alignment. His Roc Nation partners, notably the same ones invested in Kendrick's touring and catalog assets, stood to gain from Lamar's exposure on the biggest stage in entertainment. And what about Wayne? He owns his masters. He's not tied to any machine. His inclusion wouldn't spike anyone's balance sheet but his own, so the choice was made, not for the culture, for the coin.
Like he was cool with it. He was like,
yeah, that's business though. That's just business.
It was like, it's all good. So,
well, the only other thing I would say to that tweet from Nicki Minaj is,
the kicker? Some believe Jay-Z offered Wayne a late-stage guest spot, a humiliating side door entry framed as a peace offering. Birdman reportedly laughed it off. Cameron called it egregious, and Nicki, she erupted. To her, it was the ultimate insult. First erase, then offer scraps. The same tactic she claims was used on her after her fallout with Roc Nation's Megan Thee Stallion. First came the cold shoulder, then the quiet phone call suggesting a feature. It's a cycle, and she says she sees it clearly now. So where does Beyonce fit into all this? Well, that's where things get murkier and eerier. Nicki's shade rarely hits B directly, but her posts have started to contain phrases like, the women who stay silent when it suits them, and the queens who co-sign by omission. Her frustration seems to lie in what she views as complicity. Beyonce's refusal to speak up even as her husband allegedly tightens the screws. And let's not forget, Nicki was once shoulder to shoulder with Beyonce, promoting TIDAL, collaborating on Feeling Myself, and being paraded as the future of female rap. Now, she's invisible, or worse, expendable. And let's circle back to TIDAL, shall we? Because this is the thread Nicki keeps tugging on. When Jay-Z sold the platform for over $300 million, reports claimed each of the artist's stakeholders walked away with around $9 million apiece. But Nicki says she received not one red penny, not a dime, not even a phone call. And when she questioned it, silence. Or worse, a rumor campaign branding her difficult. It's the oldest trick in the mogul handbook. Discredit the voice before it gains volume. Paint her as erratic, emotional, unstable, anything to dodge the question, where's her check?
Apparently, Nicki Minaj has dragged Jay-Z to filth. She blasts him for being evil and spiteful.
Industry insiders close to the original TIDAL rollout confirmed that Nicki was one of the most vocal promoters of the service, even more than some of the male artists who allegedly got payouts. She did interviews, social posts, exclusives, and now she's stuck watching the bag float away without a trace. If that's not personal, what is? Which brings us full circle to a woman who's run out of favors to cash and bridges to preserve. She's not just calling out business moves. She's accusing Jay-Z, and by extension the power elite, of operating like puppeteers, of pulling the culture into deals that benefit the few and erase the many. Her fight is no longer just about a concert slot or a payment. It's about visibility, credibility, and maybe survival. Because when whistleblowers in the industry start talking, things happen. Contractions disappear. Projects stall. Security concerns mysteriously escalate. Ask Kaepernick, ask Kesha, ask anyone who dared to tug at the mask.
You know, Lil Wayne and sort of the things he's gotten into, the random things, run-ins with the law, whatever he's had over the last few years, that would not be typical of the brand of the halftime.
Now Nicki Minaj is tugging with both hands. And if even half of what she's alleging is true, if this web of influence really does stretch from Super Bowl stages to equity buyouts and silent blacklists, then we may be witnessing something far more explosive than a rap feud. This could be the first crack in a wall that's been standing for 2 decades. And now, as the temperature of this feud rises from simmer to full boil, we need to talk about what it's actually doing to Nicki Minaj. Because while the headlines scream about her anger, her rants, her fight, there's another story playing out underneath. A story told not in live streams or interviews, but in fragments. Posts that vanish, comments buried between emoji-stuffed lines, warnings that don't read like threats, they read like cries. One tweet in particular sent her fan base spiraling into decoding mode. God will punish you, mark my words. Is that fury or fear? Is she naming karma or signaling that the walls are closing in?
But under no circumstances am I gonna be quiet when you talking about him like that, Nicki Minaj. What the hell was that? What's that about?
And then there was this one. If I say more, it'll be your fault. That was aimed at Stephen A. Smith after he defended Jay-Z, but when we look closer, it sounds like something else entirely, like someone trying to warn off a storm. She's been using phrases like, they'll regret this, and you don't know the half of it. Those aren't clapbacks. Those are the kinds of lines people drop when their lawyers are watching. Or worse, when someone behind the scenes is reminding them what's at stake. We've seen this pattern before. Britney spoke in code. Ye flipped from cryptic to chaotic. Now, Nicki's walking that same line, the one where the industry starts painting you unstable just as you start naming names. And what's terrifying is how quickly the narrative shifts. 1 minute you're the queen of rap, the next you're emotional, ungrateful, problematic. They did it to Janet, they did it to Lauren, they tried it with Cardi. Nicki knows the playbook, which is why she's not playing along. But what happens when you stop playing the game in a business built on silence? A former assistant from a major music PR firm, one that has worked with Roc Nation, recently told a podcast anonymously that there are people who've been told not to engage with Nicki unless they're cleared by higher ups. Translation, she's being slowly frozen out. Not dropped, not blacklisted, just muffled. Not invited, not booked. Her name no longer whispered with reverence, but with caution. Lizzie Cook, and the fear now among fans and insiders alike is that this is the soft open of a takedown, that what we're watching isn't a feud, it's a purge.
Easy, guys, easy.
Which brings us to the silence that's growing louder by the day, Beyonce. The same woman who once stood beside Nicki on stage, arm in arm, trading verses on Feeling Myself. The same woman who tapped Nicki to bring edge to her visual era. And now, not a word, not a post, not even a blink. And we can't pretend that silence doesn't mean something. Not when Beyonce has carefully crafted her public image as both protector and power broker. In an industry ruled by optics, her silence is not neutrality, it's alignment. A former music executive who once handled brand deals for Ivy Park claims that Beyonce's team has been highly proactive about keeping her image clear of messy public disputes, even if it means stepping back from old alliances. That same source floated a theory now spreading fast online that Beyonce's absence isn't indifference, it's strategic protection. For Jay, for Roc Nation, for the Empire. In other words, while Jay plays the frontman in this alleged campaign, Beyonce may be running damage control from the shadows. Some are asking the unthinkable. Were the collabs ever real? Or were they calculated placements, a way to keep Nicki close on a leash, visible but never threatening? It's not lost on anyone that once Nicki started stepping out on her own terms, building her brand outside the curated filters of TIDAL and Roc Nation circles, the calls stopped coming. The cosigns dried up, and Beyonce, the industry's unofficial diplomat, stopped returning the favor. That shift didn't happen overnight. It happened in slow, sharp cuts.
I know so much on how you got where you are.
It's the pattern we've seen again and again when someone breaks formation. When they stop performing loyalty and start asking questions. And Nicki's asking the biggest one of all, who actually runs this business? Because right now, she's challenging two of its most untouchable figures, a couple who've turned privacy into power, and whose moves often play out like chess in the fog. But now the fog is lifting, and what's behind it? Maybe a fortress, maybe a trapdoor. JayZ has never been just a rapper. He's a brand, a venture, a gatekeeper of televised moments and billion-dollar stages. Beyonce is a symbol of perfection, the flawless queen who doesn't just make history, she narrates it. Together, they are untouchable. Until now. Because what Nicki is doing, whether consciously or from the pressure of being cornered, is shaking the scaffolding they've built. He's pulling focus where it's never supposed to go. To the deals, the exclusions, the quiet decisions that shape who gets seen and who gets sidelined.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
And if she's right, if there really is a campaign to silence her, to erase Wayne, to keep the Young Money lineage from stepping too far into the spotlight, then the industry isn't just complicit, it's coordinated. Built to protect a dynasty, one that rewards loyalty with opportunity and punishes dissent with invisibility. That's not a feud, that's a system. Which is why her words are starting to feel like more than clapback. They read like coded distress signals, like someone trying to leave a trail in case they go missing from the narrative. Give them their flowers while they can still smell them, sitting around playing with people's legacy. God ain't sleep. These aren't just metaphors, they're warnings from someone who knows too much, who's lost too much, and who might be losing more.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
So now, the question isn't just whether Nicki Minaj is lashing out, it's whether she's standing alone against a machine too big to beat. She may be loud, brash, unapologetic, but underneath that is someone who knows exactly how far this industry will go to protect its chosen few. She's seen it up close, and she's daring to speak on it. As Nicki Minaj continues to fight back and reveal what she calls the truth, we're left with one question. How far will Jay-Z and Beyoncé go to maintain their empire? And will Nicki Minaj's voice be silenced before the full story can come to light? Comment below if you think she's exposing the truth or digging her own grave. And we'll be watching just like you. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and never forget, the quiet ones often have the most to hide.